Hi everybody. Today we're talking about the idea of why caregiving is way more than most of us think. I'm Pamela D Wilson. My website is PamelaDWilson.com. On there, a lot of helpful information for caregivers and aging adults. If you're new to caregiving, you may be doing just a few things for mom or dad or a spouse or a grandparent. Things like going to the grocery store or picking up prescriptions, or maybe running an errand here and there, mowing the lawn, shoveling some snow depending on where your parents live or your grandparents live. And then all of a sudden, something changes that caregiving relationship. Usually it is a health-related incident. And this is where caregivers lack experience. And I don't say that from a negative perspective, but I say it from an experience of, in life, we don't know what we don't know. And many times with health diagnosis, we don't realize what can happen over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years because we just don't think about it. Especially if we are young and we're healthy and active and life is just wonderful. We don't think how one little diagnosis of high blood pressure or diabetes or something else can change our life years down the road. Where if we're caring for a parent or a grandparent, sometimes it's more easy to see the effects of that health diagnosis and the struggles that an elderly parent are facing. So maybe if your parent has high blood pressure or some heart-related condition, maybe walking, they get out of breath. Maybe they get tired. Maybe they can't stand as long at the kitchen sink doing dishes or preparing a meal. So all of these little effects are effects of health conditions. And when caregivers start working with the healthcare industry, so maybe attending doctor appointments, maybe your parent was hospitalized, had a nursing home stay, maybe you're starting to work with insurance companies or nurses or other people in the healthcare industry, that's where caregiving can get a little bit and a lot more complicated because we're not well versed working with the healthcare system that can sometimes have a lot of rules and regulations and procedures and things like diagnosis codes that, if not entered correctly, can turn down a treatment or can make it difficult for a parent to get a medication filled. There's all these complications that we as caregivers don't know about. So where do we go to find information about that? It's helpful if you work with your health insurance company, or sometimes you can hire an independent care manager or a caregiving expert like myself, or take a course to learn about all the effects of these things that it's impossible for you to know about. It's not your fault that you don't know how to talk to a health insurance company or what questions you should be asking the doctor about something or how the process is when a parent gets admitted to a nursing home. It's not your fault because that's not what you do. You've never done this caregiving thing before. And this is where I always say caregivers want to be compassionate with yourselves. So a lot of caregivers can feel guilt or anger or regret about something they did or didn't do in a caregiving situation. And that's normal because we take responsibility for our actions, which we should do that. But again, it's not fair to yourself to beat yourself up about something that you didn't know. So how do you work through that? You get caregiver education. You join a caregiving support group. You take an online caregiving course. The way to not have regrets or feel guilty or feel like you should have done more than you did is to become proactive, to learn a little bit more about what you don't know, which is all how caregiving works through the years. The more that we know in caregiving situations, the better we can take care of an elderly parent, and then our spouse when our spouse needs care, and then maybe even ourselves, and we can transfer all of this knowledge down to our children. So our children don't have to necessarily repeat all of the learning that we did. If we can talk to our children about caregiving and about everything that we're learning, we pass that information down to the next generation to save them a lot of what we had to go through in caregiving situations. I'm Pamela D Wilson, a lot of helpful information, online courses, my podcast show, articles. It's all on my website at PamelaDWilson.com. Please share this video. You can like my YouTube channel and check out more videos, and do share this information with other people. There are so many individuals who are starting to care for elderly parents who may be able to learn from your experiences and the information available on my website. Have a fabulous day today. I'll see you again soon in another video.